So now in the pastry section here, we're gonna get into making a flaky dough, and I'm gonna use this in the turnovers, the strudel, and in the Hamantaschen cookie. So it's kind of, as the name would say, it's a flaky sort of dough. It's not very heavy, it's not very spongy, and you'll see the outcome in later videos in this series. So first things first, let's just get this stuff blended up. So what we have here for the dough is we have a base, the liquid base is gonna be cashews, water, we have some honey, but you could use maple. I'm using honey just to keep things light so that if I was using, let's say, coconut sugar, or if I was going to use maple syrup, it would color the dough, and I want to keep it as neutrally colored as possible. I've got some cold pressed sesame oil here, and that's going to also, between that and the cashews, it's going to keep it soft. And then what's going to keep it flaky is I'm using some oat flour, which is just ground oats, so pressed oats ground up into a powder in the Vitamix. And then we've got some ground almonds just to keep things nice and delightful, really. Now, the key ingredient here, one of the main ingredients, is psyllium husk powder. Sorry, psyllium husk, not powder. They're two different things. So we're using the whole husk. And it's going to make this really fluffy, and you'll see how that affects it when we put it into the blender. So going to get in there, blend everything up. You'll see in the recipe in the PDF that the first thing that I'm going to do is blend up this kind of lot of ingredients, and then at the end I'm going to put in the psyllium. If you put the psyllium in with everything else, it just clogs up. It blends for too long, and as the psyllium sits in the moist mixture, it just starts absorbing all the liquid, and it gets very gluggy. So we don't want that. That's not something we want. So let's just get in there. Get our cashews in, water to help everything blend. We've got our honey, which I'll bring in last, oil. You can use whatever oil you want, but the cold pressed sesame that I get, at least here, is Clear Spring brand, and it doesn't taste like anything, and that's what we're looking for. But I've also used walnut oil, and that's been really nice too. Just nothing too strong would be my recommendation. There it goes. And now we're just gonna blend this up till it's smooth. All right, happy with that. And we'll pop in the psyllium husk powder, and then we're just going to blend that just to combine. That's it. And you can see that that's a bit, it's not too gluggy yet, but it'll just thicken up as it sits in there. So now we're going to mix together the oat flour and the ground almonds. Get that nicely mixed up. If the ground almonds are a little bit, you know, stuck together or anything like that, just work it out with your hands, or you can put it through a sieve. Make a little well in the center just to make it a little bit easier on your life. Now, I use my hands because it's a lot easier than using any kind of utensil to do this. It's going to stick to your hands, and you might as well just get in there with it. So I'm just going to get everything in, and you can see how thick that is now, and that's purely from the psyllium powder husk. Right, and just mix it all up. All right, so I'm just gonna pop it onto the work surface because that bowl is a little bit on the small side for this. I'm kind of just going to knead it, not like, you know, professionally or anything. There we go. Just get it into a ball. And you can see how it kind of cracks on the surface, and that's totally fine. It's going to be part of the nature of the dough that we want, is actually that it's a little bit flaky. So that is it for now. I'm going to pop this aside, and we're going to use this later in the series.